John Taylor, one of the great guys in real estate. John is a very funny guy, and he lives in North Adelaide. So bear in mind that with all of his comments about North Adelaide, they are a little bit biased. Now, Mandy, just getting back to the marketplace, I know that everybody wants to know, and they always ask, and the interest rates are moving up now, and first home owners grants dropping away. We've already said earlier in the previous segment that there's a lot of activity. So you're out there, you're wondering whether to buy or whether to sell. Just say it as it is. You're really in touch with it. How is it?
Anthony, I think for us the market is great. It's a good time for selling. It really is very price sensitive at the moment though, so if you've got your property on the market and it's not moving, time to sit down with your sales partner and really have a good chat about where it's sitting in price. You know, because it's not us that sets the price, it's actually the market, and the market will tell us what it's worth. So we want to give lots of vendors Christmas presents, and we'd like to get all that done before Christmas for them. And if you're not right in the pocket in price, now's the time to do it. Still plenty of property there. Good property, pretty property that's, you know, waiting for the right buyer to come along, and I think there's plenty of buyers out there at the moment too, so there's still plenty to transact before Christmas Eve.
Now, we've talked a lot about interest rates. It's just so topical every single week.
Yeah.
There's always something happening. But if the rates are to go up as they predicted on the weekend, where they're saying, or I think it was yesterday's paper, they were predicting a 0.5% increase in February. Now, surely with that and the first home owners grant, what's your prognosis for next year? Or do you think we're just going to go straight through all of that?
I wish I had a crystal ball for
I've got one.
Oh, have you?
It's
Okay,
next door.
let's have a look. Because lots of people ask me the same question, and I guess we can only assume and look at what's going on in the marketplace at the moment. The market's great for now, and we're moving along with the same thought for next year. It's the people in the marketplace that will determine what happens. We've got investors coming back into the market now, which we didn't have before. The bottom end is starting to move quicker, but it is the investors that are buying. We'll just have to wait and see what the next couple of months bring. I think it's still going to be good. It's going to get a little bit tougher, but that's why we do what we do, and I think we'll get there.
Great, and I completely agree. The other thing that's very obvious is that the burst of activity of the first home owners has definitely slowed up big time.
Sure has, yeah.
We need to get to some emails so we don't run out of time before we get to these. Now, the first one is from Melbourne, so let's see what we've got. It's a whole letter, so it's an email letter, so thank you very much for sending that in, Mr. Parker. But the essence of the letter, and we're paraphrasing this, I'm following the market as I'm coming over for Christmas. Will I get to see properties? So essentially, he's been in touch and saying, I'm coming over, the time I've got is over Christmas and January. I think he goes back mid-January. Can he see anything? What are the guys doing? What's the industry doing? Where's it at?
I can't speak for the rest of what the rest of the industry is doing, only what we're doing at the moment. And yeah, we're all tired, we're all a little bit exhausted. We talked about the bags underneath the eyes. Some of us are having a little bit of time off between Christmas and New Year, but there's still a lot of us that are around willing to take people through property, and because our vendors want to get people through. So Mr. Parker, give us a call. We've got plenty of people to still show you through property, but probably not through the Christmas or right through to that 1st of January period. I think we come back on about the 2nd of January, and then we really hit it on the 9th of January. So there's people around. Now,
the exception, of course, is in the holiday locations where, for example, the Fluorio office is exactly the opposite. I think we are absolutely fully hands-on pretty well every working day.
Sure, it's peak time in Victor Harbour at the present moment, and you've got 5 or 6 good sales partners running around down there right through Christmas, because that's when the Fluorio is really booming.
Okay, now the second email is from Richard Blackman, and it's titled Renter. So this is good. This is a good one actually. Is Adelaide heading in the same direction as the eastern states? And you should be able to comment on that. You come from there. In regards to housing affordability, seems to be getting harder and harder to break into the market, and nearly impossible in Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney. Everything seems to be benefiting the seller, existing owners, and not fresh buyers. Are you ready for this? Are we doomed?
Goodness, doom and gloom. No, we're not doomed at all.
Richard, Richard. We're not doomed. It's fine.
No, we're not. I think there's still plenty out there, Anthony. It depends where you're looking and what your expectation is of what you want to buy. Certainly, closer to the city is always that little bit more expensive. But if you're looking for that really pretty home that you can have your dog running around and you've got a couple of kids, there's still plenty out there in the outer suburbs that you can be buying at the moment. So I don't think it's doom and gloom. I think there's plenty there. You've just got to be looking in the right spots.
Yeah, I mean, my comment to this is that having been in the business for a long time, and I'm actually 52 now, so but I've been in it since in the real estate business since I was 19, and it was always said then that you couldn't afford to buy, and so I've heard this a lot. But the difference is that in those days and back when I was a child, which was ancient,
a long time
we
ago.
had a lot smaller homes, so they were more affordable because they were smaller. Now, Mandy, thank you very much for joining me.
And thank you for having me.
Now let's go and look at some amazing new properties that have just come onto the market. Well, another great program, and thanks for joining us. Next week we'll look at the sophistication of some of the security systems that could be used over Christmas, and we head down to SA's finest at Hove, another sensational property. So join us for the final Christmas edition, final for 2009, Wednesday, 1 o'clock.